Welcome to Let's Talk Sport and on Sports Keeda for today's preview of Manchester United versus Watford. Taking place in the Premier League. Premier League football is back in action after the international and FA Cup break. Last time these two teams met, Jamie, all the way back in September, Manchester United won that game by 2-1.
Was it two Fellaini goals?
One of them was definitely Fellaini, I remember.
Yeah.
But it ended a run for Watford's winning streak at the start of the season. United, the first team to beat them. But things have gone a little bit pear-shaped since then for United. They've lost the manager. They've got one back in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They've gone through a March madness, really, when you think about it. Looking like they're on the brink of losing to Southampton, only to come back and win that game by 3-2. Looking like they're on the brink of Champions League elimination and then coming back to win against PSG. And then we had the whole situation against Arsenal in the league, losing that one to 2-0. And then, of course, the 2-1 loss at Wolverhampton against Wolves in the FA Cup. That was the last time United were out. 2 points adrift now against Arsenal in the chase for the top four. But they're undefeated in the last 12 games at home. It's a nice home stretch, nice home form at the moment for United.
Old Trafford feels like a fortress all of a sudden. Yeah, it's great. But Watford are a good team. They've played really well this season. In my eyes, Watford are thereabouts nearly with Wolves in my eyes, in which they're just a team you can't underestimate when they pick a good day. So I think this will be a very good game. United need to get a win because of as you mentioned, the last two games. We've gone out of an FA Cup, which was really heartbreaking because if Solskjaer just somehow doesn't get the job, it'd have been nice to just end the season with something like the FA Cup for someone like him as well, because he won it as a player at Man U. So to lose that was heartbreaking, and then to lose with Arsenal at the time, I don't think we took much of it because maybe they were tired after the PSG win, because that felt like a week-long party with that win, and even though it was only just to get us to the quarter-finals. But I think really Solskjaer needs to get this group back and to get them back to winning ways very quickly, because we need this kind of momentum and going again for when we got Barcelona in a few weeks' time.
Well, at the moment, Lukaku and, dare I say it when it comes to you, Pogba have been playing relatively well.
Pogba now and again.
Lukaku's been firing.
Lukaku, in all fairness to him, he's performed when he's been asked, you've got to do it. It's about time, obviously. But in all fairness to Lukaku, if it wasn't for his goals in the Premier League and the Champions League, where would we be?
Does the performances of Lukaku and Pogba decide the fate of United's top four ambitions this season, do you think?
Yes, I think so, because when Pogba plays well, he is a very good player. When he doesn't, then I think some of the members of the team don't perform as well, which is a bit of a problem. But I think we've seen some strong characters from United since Solskjaer's come in, like Ander Herrera. He's just become something out of nothing, really, where I think he was okay under Mourinho, but there's a new Ander Herrera in the United squad. And I think he's been playing really, really well. He tracks back every way, runs the whole pitch, and just doesn't look tired after 90 minutes, which is good. But then when you look at... I still think there's a defensive problem, but I think Solskjaer's trying to work with it at the moment, where Smalling and Lindelof is trying to keep them together as a team to obviously learn from each other and to make the chemistry 100%. And I think it's working slowly. Smalling has still got that past of being seen as a bit of a joke of a defender. United have kept him for 9 years, so we've clearly put in a lot of faith into him and money into him. So, why let him go if he can prove it finally after 9 years, maybe? But I think Lukaku and Pogba are big, they're big players for United. I've been saying in the last few weeks that Pogba has been good, but I think he's been average at the same time. We didn't use him when we beat PSG. He would have been a great addition. I'm not saying we wouldn't have needed him, but I honestly think there's a thing with Pogba that if he wasn't at Man United, would some of our players have a bit more freedom? I don't know, but I still think he needs a lot to prove. And I think really between now and the end of the season, he's got a big game against Barcelona, and I want him to perform in that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But you got Watford beforehand, and Watford are coming into this game after a 2-1 victory against Palace in the FA Cup. They're in the
good win as well.
They're in the semi-finals of the competition, and they'll be playing against Wolves in the next stage. So it'll be interesting to see how they go in that game. But Dini, Deulofeu, Doucouré have all been fantastic this season. It's all thanks to Javi Garcia, who's been absolutely fantastic since he's taken in charge of the position. What do we think of Garcia this season? Where does he rank really on your best performers in the Premier League? I think he's up there definitely.
Yeah, I think it's funny because with Watford, before he arrived, ever since they've come back up, they've been really strong, haven't they? They've never really had any real hiccups. Like, they've never had moments when they look at the table and think, need to grab a few points because we're in this battle for relegation all of a sudden. But the way I look at Watford is, the good thing is about Garcia, he's kept that badge going, in which they show under Troy Deeney as well. Troy Deeney's been an absolute fantastic leader for Watford. What an ambassador he's been for the team over the last few years in the Premier League. And with Javi Garcia, he's kept the train going in my eyes, and that's what's been good about him. They've been a strong team home and away. They've been able to pick up results here and there. They are a bit limited sometimes when they're up against the likes of Man City or Liverpool. But, that's probably expected. And I think for Watford, their aim each season is to stay up. But, top 10 for them at the moment it's been fantastic. And, I think Wolves are narrowly better than Watford, but they've spent a lot more money.
Yeah.
So we'll see how the season ends. But I think for Watford, they've been fantastic. And Garcia, well, if he doesn't get another season, I'll be very surprised.
So you don't think Watford can finish the best of the rest then?
No, I think in terms of deservedly Wolves, but it's all about who gets the points when it matters.
All right, then who's going to get the points when it matters in this game? Is Ollie going to take back control off the wheel after that March madness, or is it?
Well, we do need to get one back, don't we?
Or are the Hornets going to sting and get into the?
You see that fly?
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for United, because just like the Southampton game, when we were 2-1 down at one point, or we were 1-0 down, we turned it around, then we went on to win. We have shown that we've been quite scrappy over the last few weeks, where we were like that under Mourinho, and this is the same squad, nothing's changed, has it? But I think there's a bit more spirit in United now, a real team spirit where everyone wants to help each other out and get the results. So I think that's the big difference since Mourinho's left. And for that, I think they'll beat Watford, but I think it'll be a cracking game.
I think it's going to be a United win as well. I'm going to go for a 3-1 though. I think Lukaku and Pogba can get fire in this game ahead of the big clash in a couple of weeks' time against Barcelona. If they're able to get some momentum behind them after the stumble of results before the international break, I think that'll be a good one for them. And it all starts really with this game against Watford at home as well. The perfect setting for United to get back into form. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 win for Watford in this, for United in this one.
I like your thinking.